everyone. My name is Lourdes De La Peña, and I'm the founder of StringTime. And I want to welcome you to our concert today. This is our biggest camp of the summer with 49 students. And so we are excited to end the summer with a huge concert and lots of celebration. For those of you who don't know what StringTime is a beginner violin, viola, and cello camp for kids ages 7 to 12. And we don't require any prior experience, and we provide all the instruments. So the idea is that if a kid doesn't know what instrument they want to try, they can come to camp, and they can have private lessons and games, music theory and music history, and by the end we can perform in this concert. For those of you who have family who live out of town, if you didn't see in the email, we are live streaming the concert on our YouTube channel. So if you just look up StringTime on YouTube, you can send a link to your grandparents and uncles and aunts and friends. And you can also find that link on our website, stringtimemusic.org. Again, that's on our YouTube channel, just called StringTime Music. And you'll see the week 6 Burke concert show up. So feel free to pull out your phones and do that if you would like. The first group that you're going to be hearing is our minuet group. And these are students who, most of them have never touched an instrument prior to coming to camp, or have come to StringTime maybe earlier in the summer or last year, but they don't have as much experience, and many of them do not take lessons, and many of them are not at the point where they're playing school yet. And so I think you'll be surprised and you'll be excited to hear all that they have learned. Before we welcome them, one last thing I'd like to mention is that all the pieces are written by our resident composer, Daniel D. Marino. And Daniel wrote 60 pieces for us this summer, and you'll see that there's a simpler student part that the kids play, and then there's a teacher quartet accompaniment part. So the kids can have the experience of playing in a conductorless orchestra from the very beginning. And so without further ado, let's welcome our first group, the minuet class. students take private lessons, other students just take in school, or some of them have been coming to StringTime for many summers, for many weeks, and so we are moving them up. And one thing you'll notice about the music in this next class is that each of the parts that the kids play have two levels. So there's sort of a easier part and a harder part. And the idea is that every child who comes to camp can be both inspired, challenged, and have something that they learn and something that is interesting and fun for them. One other thing that I would like to share is that for the first time this year, our composer has gotten the pieces to be edited well enough to where they are now going to be published. And so we'll be putting those on our website. And so if parents would like to purchase those, that will be available in September. And one of the benefits of purchasing music is that the teachers, we all met with a recording engineer at the right before StringTime, and we recorded all of the teacher parts. And so all the music will come with 2 parts for each song. So it'll have the teacher part, so the kids can play along and give a little private concert in their living room for friends and grandparents and have the full StringTime experience, even though it's just them by themselves. And then we also have a practice track. So we have one part where it's the student part that's turned up. And so the reason why we're going to be selling them is because many students only came to a couple of weeks of StringTime, but we had 6 weeks of camp and 6 weeks of music. And so your child has now walked away with the skills to be able to play music from any of the sets. We noticed that after StringTime, parents were always asking us, what's next? What do we do? My kids, they're inspired, they want to be challenged, and this is the next thing. So buy the music, and your child will be able to play along with the teachers in the comfort of their own living room. They have the skills from camp to be able to figure it out and have an all-around good time. So we'll be sending out an email about that in about a month, so keep an eye out for that. So without further ado, let's welcome our next class, our rondo class. our amazing music history teacher to come up and share a little bit about composers and the musical eras that the kids have learned.
All right, is everyone enjoying the concert so far? We are so proud of these students and all the hard work they've done. And they've not only prepared these pieces to perform for you, but we've been hard at work learning about the musical eras and about different composers that have written music for these instruments throughout the years. So for the next portion of our concert, where you'll hear the faculty perform, I'm going to have a few students come up as well to share with the audience about some of these things that we've been learning about. So Riley and Sophia are going to join me first to kick off our journey through the musical eras. All right, Sophia, can you share with our audience, what is the first musical era that we studied together?
The Baroque era.
Indeed, and tell us a little bit about what music was like during the Baroque era.
In the Baroque era, they would use something called ornamentation in their music. Ornamentation is where you decorate the music. For example, the trill is something that they would add. Some of their music was also inspired by Baroque dance.
Exactly right, and very well said. And Riley, can you share with our audience, which composer did we feature and learn about this week from the Baroque era?
We talked about a few, but the one that we mostly focused on was Henry Purcell.
Henry Purcell, indeed. And tell our audience who might not be familiar with Henry Purcell, what can you tell them about him?
He died at around the age of 36, but nobody knows how. Something he died from chocolate poisoning, and something he came back late from a rehearsal, and his wife locked the door so he couldn't get in.
Ooh, a dramatic twist. All right, and tell us maybe one other fun fact about Henry Purcell.
If you ever watched the Pride and Prejudice in 2005, wasn't then you called one of his songs, I think it's Rondo?
Yes, exactly. So Rondo is one of the pieces featured in the movie Pride and Prejudice. It is composed by Henry Purcell, and that is what we're going to perform for you now. Thank you. Let's give it up for Sophia and Riley. And now that we've heard a taste of the Baroque era, Elise and Mira are going to come join me up on stage so that we can continue our journey through the musical eras together. Oh, sorry, I think Elise and Anna. My bad. A lot of things to remember here. All right, come on up, ladies. All right, Elise, now that we've heard a bit of the Baroque era style of music, can you tell our audience what musical era comes next?
The classical era.
The classical era, indeed. And tell us a little bit about what music was like during the classical era.
Unlike the Baroque era, the classical kept it more simple and elegant.
Indeed, yes, a little bit more simple and elegant. That's a good way to put it. And Anna, can you tell us what composer did we study this week from the classical era?
Haydn.
Franz Joseph Haydn. Yes, and tell us something about Haydn.
He loved doing practical jokes, and for example, one of his jokes was he was in choir and he cut off another boy's ponytail.
That got him kicked out, didn't it? And then tell us one of his maybe more famous musical jokes that the audience might recognize.
The Surprise Symphony.
Anyone heard of the Surprise Symphony? All the kids do, at least. All right, and we're not going to play the Surprise Symphony for you. Instead, we're going to play one of his string quartets. Haydn is also known as the father of the string quartet because he helped establish this style and this way of playing. And Elise, can you tell our audience what quartet are they about to hear and why is it nicknamed what it is?
It is called the Rider Quartet, and it is nicknamed that because it sounds like a horse galloping through a meadow or a field.
So maybe you can all imagine that as you're listening to the Rider Quartet. Thank you so much, Anna and Elise, for introducing the class. and Mira are going to join me up on stage as we continue making our way through the musical eras together. All right, Elise, can you tell our audience what comes next? We've now heard some music from the Baroque era and the classical era, so what's the next one?
The Romantic era.
Indeed, the Romantic era. Tell us a little bit about music in the Romantic era.
It was like the classical era, but it had
cared more about feelings than form when they were writing their music. And Mira, could you tell our audience what composer from the Romantic era we studied together?
Sir Edward Elgar.
And why is he called Sir?
He was knighted by the King of England.
Indeed, and tell us, is there anything else you can share about Elgar?
Yeah, he was one of his most famous songs, Pomp and Circumstance, is played at most graduations.
Yes, anyone ever been to a graduation and heard Pomp and Circumstance playing? All right, just the kids again? Okay. All right, well, we're not playing Pomp and Circumstance. We are, however, playing Elgar's Cello Concerto, featuring Mr. Samuel Sykes on solo cello. And I encourage you to, like Elise mentioned, see what the music is telling you. What feelings is this music expressing? Thank you, Elise and Mira, for introducing the Romantic era. All right, and last but not least, Teddy and Kira are going to join me to complete our last stop on our journey through the musical era. In the meantime, let's have one more round of applause for Mr. Sam on the Elgar Dance Tutorial. All right, so Teddy, can you tell our audience what is the final musical era we studied together?
The modern era.
Indeed, and what was music like during the modern era?
The characteristics were they had a lot of dynamic, but they didn't have that much form, and they were experimenting, and there were so many events going on that it was really hard to go see live shows, so that's why music was starting to get produced by technology too. You could hear it instead of having to play it live.
Yeah, we have new technology which allows us to listen to music on recordings rather than just live, but I think live music is the best way to experience it. And Kira, can you tell us the modern era composer that we studied this week?
We studied Sergei Prokofiev.
And tell us a little bit about Prokofiev.
He was in the 20th century, and his first symphony was called the Classical Symphony, and it was inspired by Haydn, who we learned about earlier this week.
Yes, indeed. He was inspired by other musical eras, and we talked about how music in the modern era can sound however you'd like, and a lot of composers have been inspired by music of the past, as well as experimenting and trying new styles of their very own. And some of Prokofiev's most well-known works include The Peter and the Wolf musical story, as well as his ballet, Romeo and Juliet. So we're going to share with you the Montagues and Capulets movement from Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. Let's hear it for Teddy and Kira for introducing the modern.
The chair of the StringTime board, Terry Thompson, to share a little message with us.
Thank you all for coming. I hope you're enjoying the concert. I'm always amazed at what children can do in a single week of camp, thanks to these talented teachers and the fun that you have built into the program. Many of you know that Lourdes has been dreaming of having a string camp or a summer camp for string instruments since she was a little girl. And so it's really terrific to be able to have her dreams come true. This is our 5th year of StringTime, we decided that we needed to form a nonprofit organization, and we did in 2024. So we could ask our contributors to give us money to help us fund those scholarships. Last year we awarded 39 scholarships. I don't have the total number for this year, but it's quite a few this year as well. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate you sending your children to StringTime. And trying to give us a contribution, you can go to our StringTime.org, StringTimemusic.org, or the QR code of the program will also work, and we'd be very grateful for you. So thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see many of you next summer.
And I'd now like to invite up 3 of our 12-year-olds who have been coming to StringTime and who'd like to share a little bit about our camp. Every year, the saddest part about StringTime is saying goodbye to our 12-year-olds, but the happiest part is welcoming our new 7-year-olds every summer. And so we invited 3 12-year-olds who have been coming to StringTime for a number of years to just share a little bit about their experience. So you can hear a bit about what we do during the day and why the kids like StringTime so much. So let's start with Maddie. Maddie, how long have you been coming to StringTime?
2 years.
Great. And what about Ella?
4 years.
And Cyrus?
2 years.
Great. And Maddie, what is your favorite part about StringTime, or what do you like about camp? How do you keep coming back every year?
Because the teachers are so nice, and like I love that the piano like composes so many different songs.
Thank you so much for sharing. And what about Ellie?
I really like learning about the instruments more and all the composers and music.
Great. And Cyrus?
I like to tell every piece is different that everyone can do.
Yeah, so as you can see that students all have their different reasons for coming back and why they like it. And when we designed the camp, we thought about all the teachers and what were the things that we felt like we were missing as kids and what would be the ideal summer camp. And so we thought of having music theory class and having music history, hearing the teachers play, learning about the different musical eras, and then also having game time so the kids can get up and run around, private lessons, small groups, and then also large ensembles. And so as you can see, there's something for everyone, and we've just been so blessed to work with your kids this week, and just really for our program for the past 5 years. So we want to say a huge thank you to the parents, and as is our tradition, we always end with a special surprise song. And so we are excited to do that with both the minuet, the rondo class, and the teachers all combined. So we hope you enjoy. please use the QR code when you get home and fill in the survey. We'd love to hear from you. And if your child borrowed an instrument from camp, please don't take it home. Just go ahead and leave it by the school. Thank you so much. We'll see you at the reception.